Welcome back. You're still with us on ASEAN Talk, and we're discussing medical tourism right here with Professor Lemper. Now, Professor, you did say Thailand is on top, followed by Malaysia, but entering into the list as a big and a new player is India.
That's correct. Well, India has been there. It's, again, if we talk academically with statistics, the interesting figures are that Thailand, Singapore, and India share together 90% of the Asian medical tourism revenues or capacities. Again, the interesting thing is that both India and Singapore do not release numbers. But there are academic statistics behind this, so this is what we are talking about. India, at the moment, is having something like 18.7% of the total Asian market of medical tourism. Whereas I said it's difficult to get total numbers because China did not release any, India did not release. I have numbers about Philippines and South Korea, for example. And India would like to grow in the next 2 years by 25% to become the leader in the percentage growth.
I see.
You see, but in total numbers, we cannot position them yet. Because Thailand will keep growing, and Thailand is expecting to have something like maybe 10% growth. And if you take this from the total numbers, then we think we will reach the 1.5 million visitors, medical travelers, under conditions, of course, that Thailand stabilizes and regains the confidence of the people.
So which means that the government of India is supporting strongly.
India is having a special Incredible India medical campaign running now, and they are investing a lot of money. And the Indian hospitals and there is an Indian Medical Travel Association which are really putting a lot of emphasis into this.
And they have an advantage of speaking English as well.
That's another story that I did not mention when it comes to Thailand. I would say in Thailand, most of the doctors speak English because most of them studied in the United States or in English-speaking countries, but it is not the natural language. Whereas for India, Singapore, Malaysia, Philippines, they have the natural advantage of speaking English by education.
But if you were to rate, how sophisticated is Thailand? I know we're on the top, but we do actually aim at becoming the medical hub of Asia. Do you think we're ready?
Well, we are the hub of medical.
We are now.
We are. By no doubt there is. We are having the biggest medical visitors numbers. Maybe in comparison with other countries like China and India, we might not have the biggest number of hospitals, but in qualified hospitals, in investment, in the technology and so on, Thailand with no doubt is leading. The numbers are proving it, and we are having here the very famous Thai friendliness and the Thai smile, which I hope will reach the airport as well sometimes. And people feel comfortable here. Everyone we talk to is going away satisfied. It is easy to feel happy in Thailand.
The smiles are coming back. That's for
Good.
sure. Confidence
Good.
as
Good.
well.
All right.
Now, is it because that we are the first to jump into this industry compared to other countries?
No, because
like
there were
Malaysia and
countries
Singapore?
before Thailand. Malaysia was there before Thailand.
Focusing on the medical tourism.
Oh, yes. Malaysia was there years ago. Singapore was trying. Somehow, Thailand gained through the entry in Thailand actually came through the very famous Thai wellness programs. People felt very comfortable, and it was, if you compare again with the prices and with the comfort, the traditional and the herbal, the natural products we are having here, if you compare a good massage in Europe and in Thailand, Thailand is a tenth of the price which someone has to pay for a good massage in Europe. You compare 5,000 baht to 500 baht, and 500 baht is still on the higher level, on the higher rank. Through this and because the hospitals here realized that they need to complement the local population also on revenues, Thailand made the jump, and the numbers are coming. Thailand also has, similar to other countries of course, is having bilateral governmental agreements with countries in the Middle East, and in countries which still do not have such sophisticated welfare and healthcare services in their own countries. And for example, most of the governmental persons in the Middle East or in the Gulf area are paid to come here, and all the costs are paid. And there is a long process. It's a little bit complicated.
Let me ask you once again.
Yes.
They come here. They do not have to pay anything for the treatment. It's
if they are governments, if they are armies, the checkup and everything, because they cannot get it in their own countries. These people are being paid through the embassies here, and the hospitals are getting the money. Whereas there are positives and advantages and disadvantages to this. This is why I will be warning later that we are not allowed to rest on this and take this as a guarantee, because the Gulf area and the Middle East areas are investing heavily in having their own healthcare systems. And what will happen if all these hundreds of thousands of people we are having now coming to Thailand as unexpected will start using their own. So there will be a change in demographics of medical tourism with the time, slowly. And again, I'm going back to the demand and supply. As long as we stay on the top, people will keep coming.
How many international hospitals do we have here in Thailand and are ready to cater to the patients?
Okay, if we do not consider hospitals grouped in a group, in a big group and so on, we are having at the moment about 10 hospitals which are considered to be international. International means that they have gone into the sophistication of having the criteria I mentioned before. They're having doctors which speak English, they have been all educated abroad, they're having the leading technology, they have translators, they're having a so-called MIS, Management Information System, well computerized, which gives you the efficiency and so on. And of course, on top of this, they have the smile, which everyone is looking for, the friendliness. And these hospitals are now taking in, I would say, very close to the total of numbers we are having. So they are treating more than 1 million people at the moment per year.
I see. Now let's take a look at the minus sides of the industry, or things that people should be prepared to find out, to know before actually going to any country, including Thailand, to be treated for any particular disease.
Good. In principle, when anyone starts preparing for a medical trouble, the first thing is to consult with their own physicians in the country of their origin. Find out exactly what they need and what kind of expectation they should deliver to the destination they are going to. There are special directories this now. I've just been informed, for example, that United Kingdom is preparing a special book to be given to all the physicians in England, because people in United Kingdom have this problem, seems to be, and the physicians who are confronted with a request of people who would like to go somewhere else need to give this book with recommendations of, let's say, selected and approved recommendations about high-level medical infrastructure in the countries they would like to go. So first of all, talk to the physician. Second, verify the qualifications of the treating medical doctors. Then you need to see if you can connect with a specialized agency which will do all the pre-referral selections and so on, meaning medical history will be received, a medical board of advisors will be consulted to look at this. They will select the best possible doctors who have most experience in the country of destination to treat with this. Then, of course, medical qualifications of the hospitals, what we call the JCI certification, the international
accreditation.
That's accreditation of hospitals, and all the hospitals in Thailand who deal with international clients have them. And what people should, at the end of the line, look at is the total amount of the invoice, because I slowly see that hospitals tend to hide, similar to low-cost airlines. They tend to hide all kind of costs in the invoices which were not made clear in the estimates or in the proposals when the people came.
So upon payment, you have to check the bill very well.
Better do so.
Now, doctor, let me ask you, what if a medical vacation turns into a disaster? Who is there to protect the client coming in from, you know, another country?
That's correct. Well, one of the biggest hazards or problems we are having when it comes to cross-border movement, and it's not only in medical tourism, it's in general, in any way you move, is the problem of liability. Who is responsible for what? In general, this should be regulated through governments and through legal systems on one side. Through the accreditation systems, the hospitals are usually taking over the liability. The problem is that if really something happens, see, because when we talk about a treatment which went wrong, and who is then taking responsibility? At the moment, the hospitals claim in international contracts, which we are following with, they claim to take the full reliability. Whether this is enough for the lawyers, and whether and how much is going to be in compensation, if it is possible at all, if somebody has a problem, a liability problem. This is a legal problem which needs to go through intergovernmental commissions or through inter-insurance relations.
What about tourism association?
Well, they are only locals. I know we are now in talks with PATA, with the Pacific Asia Travel Associations. Since they are having 48 countries as members, they have a very good leverage to pull the governments together and start working on policies. It is a matter of creating the policies of how to protect and so on. And then comes the clarification of insurance liabilities, of so-called clearing systems among insurances who play with each other. I would say most of the countries in Europe or in America are quite protective when it comes through insurances. They're quite protective in keeping their clients, if possible, back into their countries. But it slowly opens, and I believe that with the time the insurances and the local service providers will have a means of exchanging, and then it will also solve the problem of the liability.
Well, those are some practical tips that you should actually follow. We're running out of time. Professor, thank you so much for joining the program today.
My pleasure being here. Thank you very much.
So don't forget to check the information well before going to any country to receive medical treatments, because otherwise your medical holiday will turn into a medical catastrophe. That shall do it for today. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Chalapansana Narula. See you later. Sawadee ka.